Joining me now is Chuck Todd, moderator of Meet the Press. Good morning, Chuck. Let's get straight to it. Now, we've seen record numbers when it comes to early voting so far this midterm season. In our new 11 Alive Survey USA poll, that 54% say that inflation is really an important issue to them, really driving people out to the polls. So when it comes to inflation, some blame the pandemic, some say spending by Democrats, and others blame the war in Ukraine for high gas prices. Has Senator Warnock or Democrats in general done enough to convince voters that they can handle it?
We're going to find out on Tuesday. I think Senator Warnock has tried. He spent more time trying to inoculate himself on some of these attacks, both on whether he did enough on inflation and on the economy and on the issue of crime. And we're going to find out, did he do enough? I mean, he raised a ton of money. He's had all of that money. He used it early. But ultimately, we're going to find out. I don't know, because our most recent poll that we're going to be debuting this morning, I want to share with you one number that sort of coincides with your last poll, and that is 81%. That's the number of people who told us they're dissatisfied with this current economy. And if you're, as you say, certainly Democrats don't blame Democrats for this economy, but there are a lot of independents that do, as well as Republicans. We're not surprised by the Republican blame, but that independent number, if independents are voting on the economy and looking to blame the party in power, that's a long night for Democrats if that's the eventual outcome.
Now, while many are focused at this point on Election Day, which is just 2 days away, others are looking further ahead, some already suggesting that these races could actually go to a runoff here in Georgia. So if that is the case, with a few extra weeks of campaigning, who would have the advantage in that scenario?
You know, it's hard to say. My initial sense is, if you look at the history of runoffs in Georgia in the last 20 years, whenever the Democratic candidate has been an African-American candidate, Democrats have won more of those runoffs. And so if you can get the African-American vote engaged, Democrats have a better shot at the runoffs. So a lot of strategists I've talked to on both sides of the aisle think in a runoff, generally, you probably favor Warnock. Now, that said, we don't know the circumstances of this runoff. Is it going to decide control of the Senate, or is it just one seat to decide whether one party is at 51 or 52? I think that will matter a lot. And remember the role former President Trump played during the last runoff. So you just don't know. Again, if you ask me about sort of just strategically and tactically, I think Warnock has the slight edge going into this thing, but we just don't know the circumstances with which the runoff would be held, because we don't know the results of the rest of the election.
Definitely. All right, Chuck, so before I let you go, a very special Meet the Press for you this morning, celebrating 75 years of the longest running show in television history, the longest running ever. Congratulations, Chuck, on this special occasion. Meet the Press airs at 10 right after 11 Alive Weekend Morning News.
Thank you.